Oh, last thing I'll say if anyone's listening, stop dating men who hate you. I started dating a man that loves me and he's going to buy me an iPad. He told me.
Welcome to The Wall. Today we're going to look at how loneliness after 30 is driving these women crazy. No husband, no kids, no family. All that leftover energy ends up fueling conspiracy theories about the patriarchy, systemic misogyny. When there's nothing real to build, the mind starts inventing monsters. Let's get started.
Best advice I can give to any woman that is building out her own $1 million career and brand is to stop dating men. Just stop. Just go cold turkey. No dating and no intimacy. When I took this vow for myself for 2 years, I was like, I'm not going to date anybody. I'm going to get super laser focused and locked in because men can be extremely draining. They are known to be energy vampires. And if they're not making your life better, they're actually just wasting your life. So I was like, okay, I'm going to stop dating. And in those 2 years, I was so laser focused on my business that I built a multi-million-dollar company. It's about to hit $5 million very soon, which is insane. I got the house of my dreams, the car of my dreams, the life I've always wanted. And I did it so quickly because I didn't have my energy leaking into other things, into problems, into an emotional roller coaster that in my 20s, men would always put me on because I was such a lover girl. I would invest all my focus and time into the relationship I was in. So now that I've built my stability and my self-confidence, now I'm dating and now it's so much easier because I don't go around anybody who would dare waste my time, right? Only around somebody who allows me to be myself, allows me to focus on my goals and doesn't deter me from it and doesn't put me on an emotional roller coaster. And when I was in my 20s, I didn't know how important that was, right? Because in our 20s, we're like boy crazy. We're told that our main goal is to have kids and get married. And I was like, fuck that. I want to be a millionaire instead.
There's nothing that would convince me to get pregnant right now. Like, I finally understand why it is that they wanted to get us pregnant, like, at an early age. Because the older that you get, the more your frontal lobe begins to develop. And then you begin to actually formulate your own opinions and takes on things. I will not risk my life when I am on the brink of death every fucking month. When I get my period, when I bleed myself to death almost. And then you're going to have a little man walk in and tell me, I want children. I want 5 children. Bitch, are you going to grow them? No, you're not. No, you're not. No, you're not. So I'm not necessarily understanding why you expect a woman to pop out children for you when most men don't actually even understand what responsibility is. They can't even put underwear on that doesn't have a hole in them. Most of them are gay, pretending not to be gay, cosplaying a straight man. Like, most of them are boys cosplaying non-boys, like adult men. There are not that many adult men. And you want me to get a parasitical entity inside of my body from you, your seed, that's gonna kill me? 50% of this child is you on top of the umbilical cord. That's more of 50% of you in me. No. Be careful of who it is that is telling you they want to get you pregnant, because that's a motherfucking threat. A threat, period, point blank. Okay? No. Absolutely the fuck not. No.
Tell me why, okay? Tell me why. I very reluctantly get onto dating apps here and there, knowing damn well I'm not dating right now. It's one of my toxic traits. I don't want to fucking talk about it, okay? But what I do want to talk about is how I felt like there were so many old men. Old men. I'm like, why are there so many old men on here liking me? Why? What is happening? What's happening here? Then I realized these men are my age. These men are my age. I'm old. When am I going? What's not clicking, Rachel? What is wrong with me? I'm fucking over it. I'm calling the cops. I'm disgusted. I'm done.
This is your typical empowered woman speech that they sell to younger girls. First of all, not everyone is going to be a millionaire. On the contrary, 90% of women live paycheck to paycheck. Only about 10% really make it on their own. And even then, it's usually because they have a good family behind them opening doors with influence and connections. And if you're also attractive, everything gets easier. Second, after 35, they all start with the "I don't want kids anymore" line. That's just a defense mechanism to cover up the fact that they didn't manage to find a stable man to have them with. In my experience, and in the experience of all my buddies, any woman who's been with a financially stable man for at least a year immediately wants kids. That's why dating after 30 is such a mess. They're not looking for a boyfriend, they're looking for a husband. And then comes the last realization, the hard way. Their best years are gone. Now, the only guys liking their pics are over 40 because men their own age aren't interested anymore, and younger guys ignore them completely. Brothers, the wall shows no mercy.
Saw a video of a woman saying that women need to stop saying that there are no good men out there because it just makes the patriarchy win, because then women will settle for less than they deserve because there are no good options, and that means that we have to fix them, save them, train them, make them better, whatever. Like, no man is just going to be a good man. To that I say, I think women are just realizing that we don't need to be with a man at all if most of them suck. Trying to wade through all the bad ones to find a good one is exhausting. And women are realizing that they actually just don't even need a man at all to be fulfilled in their life. Women have been told forever that we need to get married and have kids to find fulfillment in life. And I can tell you right now, some of the happiest women I know are either unmarried, child-free, or both. I do believe that there are good men out there. I know there are because I found one. He's amazing. But I think that right now women are realizing that we need to build a beautiful life that fulfills us and makes us happy without a man being a part of the equation at all. Once we have that, we can add a man in. And if he continues to add value to our life, continues to make us happier, continues to make us feel more safe and secure and free in our expression, amazing. But I don't think that holding men accountable for their actions and saying that men suck is going to make women settle for less. I think it's making us realize that maybe we just don't need them at all, and we can hold out until we really do find a good one instead of dealing with all the bullshit.
The best thing you can do as a young Black woman with goals is to stay away from men. Stay away from men, okay? They will bring you unnecessary drama, unnecessary stress, and they will distract you. And if you stay too long, they can ruin your life. And I'm dead serious. I'm so serious.
One of the hardest things about raising a son is knowing that I can't stop the patriarchy from happening. Like, no matter what I do, even if I was the dad, which the dad has a better chance at influencing a son's beliefs about being a man than the mother does, because you're a woman. So you telling him, like, this is what men are like, only goes so far compared to the message that the father or other males in his life can give him about what men are like. Since it just makes sense, right? Like, who would you trust? The men that are telling you this is what our own experience is like, or the woman that's like, no, don't listen to them, like, they're wrong, like, you know. And it's not that black and white, but that's generally, I feel a little bit more helpless in that respect, right? But my role as a mother is that I have some control over the male influences that my son is exposed to and who he is learning what being a man and being a boy and boyhood and whatever is like from. And that's good, but it is just interesting being in this position of, you know, I've felt bad before for a man, obviously, like an individual man, like men that I've dated or my family, obviously, or just a friend. You know, if I had a male friend that was going through something, obviously I feel bad for another human being, but I just had not been able to empathize or sympathize or whatever with the ways that the patriarchy harms men because the patriarchy harms women so bad. And that's my own personal experience. So then now raising a son, I just see all the ways that patriarchy harms boys and men as well. And it's like, because then also I know grown men, that have been harmed by that. And I think of them as being a little boy. And I think of everyone like once upon a time they were just a baby. And if everybody was just loved from the beginning and their families were just supported, which is like literally matriarchy, if that was just what was happening, then we wouldn't have all this collective pain, because then mothers and their babies would be supported and the children would be supported, boys and girls. And then those boys would grow up and they wouldn't have that wound because their mother and their family would have been supported. And so then everyone thrives. But we don't have that. We have patriarchy. And it's like you can only like counteract that so hard, as not only as a mother, as a woman, but just in general, even as a father in the equation. It's just tough sometimes. It's tougher. It's tougher some days, for sure.
Cocaine is a hell of a drug.
What I don't get is, what's so hard for them? Because to me, none of these women have ever lived in a truly hard world. A hard world is being a woman in a Muslim country, in parts of Africa, or in some places in the Pacific. But in the US, where women have all the freedom in the world, what exactly is the struggle? It's crazy if you think about it. While these women are saying we don't need them, men are waking up and realizing that if they focus on themselves, improving their finances and their bodies, they can get the women they want and live life on their own terms. Now men reject women who don't fit into their life plan. The problem is, a lot of women today want to be in charge. They want everything to go their way, and men just aren't playing that game anymore. So when they can't control a man, they start crying, patriarchy. No, lady, it's not the patriarchy. It's just that men don't need women who don't know how to be wives.
Women.
So ladies, it has been a minute since I've been on here, but I just wanted to talk about something real quick. Ladies, please stop dating men that cannot afford your lifestyle. Please stop it. And then complain when he doesn't give you certain things. That's a man that doesn't afford your lifestyle, and you need to kick him to the curb. Number one, you have to keep your standards high at all times and make yourself a priority. Once you make yourself a priority and keep your standards high, you attract that type of man, which is a high value man, and a man that could keep you, and a man that can give you anything. You have to date a man that can maintain your lifestyle, and that only happens when you have your standards high.
Women want the bears, and we want you to subscribe and help us hit 1,000 likes on this video. Don't forget to leave your opinion in the comments. It's important to us. Alright then, let's get back to the video.
If you want to get rich, start your own business, or you're just overall a very ambitious girl, you gotta stop dating men. I saw this content creator talking about this, and she's absolutely right. For most of the time, men are distraction and energy vampires. When I was with my ex, I was managing his emotions all the time. I was walking at eggshells to protect his ego, because back then I made more than he did, and I was paying for almost everything. I know. I learned it the hard way that do not support men. And since we broke up till now, I almost tripled my income. I grew my followers to over 100K across all platforms in the just past few months. I achieved the dreams I had for over a decade, all in this 1 year, all because I didn't have my energy leaking. All the energy and focus was on myself. Men can block your blessings. Sure, a good relationship, the right guy will challenge you, encourage you to be a better version of yourself, but I believe that only happens when you are leveling up and when your energy is stable. And for majority of the time, women are just better single.
You will never be the same as a woman once you start realizing how much your aspirations and goals, everything that you've normalized all your life, are forms of systemic misogyny. Number one, beauty standards. This is a combination of white supremacism and pedophilia. Think about most beauty standards across cultures. Light or blonde hair, clear and light skin, big eyes, pouty pink lips, thin body, and hairlessness. What does that remind you of? A child. The combination of light hair, light skin, thin body, and when we add the blue eyes as well, we have a prepubescent white girl. The blonde hair and blue eyes are typical white baby traits that the babies grow out of around prepubescent age. So then we have now grown-ass women trying to look like white little girls. Now we take this white baby girl look and add all the makeup trends, making her eyes bigger, enhancing her lips, turning it glossy and pink. The aspiration of women's beauty standard is becoming a white baby girl who's sexually aroused. Women have to realize that the conventional lip colors that we wear are supposed to reflect the colors of our labia. And then put a gloss on top, and then now you have a glossy labia that's ready for, and that look is celebrated as the ideal beauty standard. Gotta always make sure that there's no hair, right? Absolutely no hair at all. Second, continuing on with trends, the misogyny in women's clothing and fashion. Conservatism is control. The males cannot control themselves. For the women and girls who want to rebel against that, promiscuity is sold as freedom and sovereignty, when all it's doing is serving up the woman's body like cuts of meat on a platter, where the males can simply walk out of the house and visually feast on the women and girls. Crop tops, cleavage, tight silhouette that shows off every inch of your curve, cutouts, male paradise. Sexy fashion isn't freedom either. It is control and servitude. 3, waiting until marriage, control. Arranged marriage, control. For women and girls who do not resonate with that, promote free dating. Women are either traded like commodity to grow the assets in the patriarchy, become reproductive vessels, or become...
God damn it! You can't make this shit up!
That woman ranting about systemic misogyny just needs to go live alone on a mountain somewhere. Because if a white girl becomes a model, it's the patriarchy's fault. If she dresses sexy, that's also patriarchy. If she gets married, she's suddenly a breeding vessel. My God, how messed up does your life have to be to start believing that kind of nonsense? That's the energy they say they don't want to waste on men. Next point. If you look at the real poverty stats, the poorest group is young women. Not all of them are going to be rich. And if you look at the list of the world's richest women, the vast majority got there through massive divorce settlements. These days, corporate and office jobs are packed with women, but they're also the ones with the most debt, the most mortgages, and the most bankruptcies. Is that also the patriarchy's fault? After 30, they hit the wall. No husband, no kids, the cat won't even look at them. And all that leftover energy gets funneled into conspiracy theories. The white supremacist patriarchy stole my happiness. At this point, you don't know whether to laugh or cry at this crap. We've reached the end of the video, but before we go, here are the questions for you. Do you really think leaving men makes you a millionaire, or does it just leave you alone, in debt, and blaming the patriarchy at 35? If it's all the patriarchy's fault, why did the richest women in the world get there through divorce and not by being a girl boss? If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. Your support means a lot to us and motivates us to keep making content. Stay tuned for the next episode of The Wall.